Take 27.3 to the third. Favorite restaurants in Disney. Okay, so
that's a lot of restaurants to go through.
Disney World. Does that cut it somewhat smaller?
It's still a little bit smaller. There's still a lot of restaurants that we had to fill through.
Incredible number of restaurants at Disney World. We have not eaten at all of them, obviously. We have eaten at an awful lot. When we started making the list, we realized
it's too many.
Yeah, it was too many. It was really tough cutting it down to just 10, so we didn't.
We cheated a bit.
We cheated a little bit at the end. And these are in no particular order. They just happen to be the order that we ended up writing them down in after making a list and crossing off and trying to figure out which ones we'd finally include. So we're going to start at the top and work our way down. So let's start with the dine-in theater. It's the sci-fi dine-in theater. Let's see if I can get this right this time. At Disney's Hollywood. Did I get it right? Hollywood Studios? Is that right? Disney MGM, doggone it. Okay. Don't tell me one name and get me used to it and then make me switch to another. And I'm going to call you by your competitor's name if you do that. Just let you know. Okay, not Universal. Disney's Hollywood Studios. Okay.
Or DHS for short.
I'm never going to remember DHS. I hate acronyms and abbreviations. Okay, dine in. By the way, just as a side rant, Rezzies. Who started saying this? Slap yourself silly. It's not a resi, it's a freaking reservation. You can't say the whole world. Please don't speak. It's not a freaking resi. Okay, sorry. We're doing a nice list this time. This is not a rant list. That comes later. Okay, sci-fi dine-in theater restaurant.
The only problem I have with it, besides it's dimly lit, but that's because you're in a supposed drive-in movie
theater, yes,
is the fact that the loop of cartoons that they have playing on the big screen is a little short.
Yeah.
And if you're stuck there for more than half an hour.
Yeah, I mean, they're really cool, and the first time or two that you see them, they're hilarious. They got old outtakes from some ridiculous B movies, and lots of cartoons, Tom and Jerry, old cartoons.
Mostly space themes.
Everything involving, science fiction, mostly space. I think they could probably come up with a few more, though, because that loop gets real old, especially if you go during a busy time when you have to wait a long time for your food, or if, like us, you've been about 6 times.
When you start to learn all the lines from the cartoons by heart.
Yes, you know every cartoon that's coming on. You know that the incredible, the giant man is going to be on next, and they're going to stab him with the giant needle. And, the Tex Avery cartoon, which by now we definitely know by heart, where Tom goes to the moon. Oh, well, it's not Tom. It's a cat. Goes to the moon to get away from the
he
people.
Hates the people.
But what's good about the restaurant? Well, the fact that you're
a lot of good things.
I love that you're sitting in the cars. That's so cool. It's different, obviously. Of course, if there's 2 of you, it's a lot easier to converse than if there's 4. You really end up breaking into 2 groups of 2 because it's really hard to have a conversation with someone who's sitting in front of you and has to turn around backwards to talk to you.
Just like in a car.
It's just like in any other car, but it works out just great for couples or for small groups of teens or even families. Put 2 kids in the back and let them throw French fries at each other while the parents enjoy their meal without noticing that.
And in true Disney fashion, they like to make a lot of jokes and stuff, like saying the hitchhikers that are in the back seat are paying for the meal or whatever else.
If there's another couple sitting in the car, they may seat a second couple behind you. So we've sat behind someone else or in front of someone else before, and the waiters always refer to the couple in the back as the hitchhikers, which is kind of fun to do. And unlike in the German restaurant where you have to share the tables, it doesn't feel as weird because again you're sitting behind someone else, not right next door to them. You're not staring them in the face for the whole meal. What else is great about it? You're sitting there watching campy videos going looping. Sometimes the waiters are on roller skates, so they do the whole roller skating thing. Sometimes they're not, and I think that has more to do with whether they're good on roller skates or not than anything else.
Yeah.
The desserts there are to die for. Really enjoy their hamburgers, their barbecue sandwich. The food there is just plain American sort of fast food, but of the nicer variety.
Yeah. What they'd usually refer to as fast casual food.
Yeah. Casual dining. So, but I would definitely go with either the burger or the barbecue sandwich. In my mind, have been the best that we've tried so far. From
Yeah,
there.
that was pretty much the good. They do have a few of the seafood variety, but it's not really worth calling home about.
Dessert-wise, the sundae is absolutely killer
Yes.
sundae. And if you're lucky, during one of every now and then they have little giveaways and stuff. One time we got our meal served to us on a glow-in-the-dark frisbee. Another time there were cool glasses that you could buy with the glowing ice cubes. So every now and then you get those cool takeaways that become keepsakes you can remind yourself of the trip with. So those are kind of cool. Keep an eye out for them. Our second most, I think this is our favorite restaurant in the park, and it's second on the. We should have saved it for last, but we'll go ahead and go with it because it's second on the list. The Liberty Tree Tavern in Magic Kingdom.
Yes, it is in the Liberty Square. Absolutely my favorite restaurant. Basically, it's fun because it's colonial times. The restroom is the only downside because it's upstairs, but oh well.
The restroom, yeah, because the shape of the building and all,
Yeah.
it has to be very small. It's kind of annoying.
It fits the colonial theme very well, so that works out. And my favorite part, and the reason why I love the restaurant so much, is it serves what's essentially a Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner 24/7. That's all they serve. They serve it family style. You get roast beef, ham, turkey, mashed potatoes. You get vegetables. At least 2 kinds of vegetables, and then you also get usually like macaroni and cheese or something as well.
The rolls there are,
oh my goodness,
beyond delicious. Very, very soft, and they usually serve like a seasonal butter. Some of the ones we've had it in like a honey butter and orange butter. They're delicious. I mean, you could sit there and just eat the rolls. Forget the dinner. Just give me the rolls. They're just that good.
And it's a good value.
It's a very good value.
Especially if you got a good-sized family.
Yeah, I was going to say, when just the two of us go, you might want to just go with the a la carte. But if you've got 3 or more, the family-style dining is perfect. It's great. And the dessert
is definitely to die for. The apple cobbler with ice cream a la mode.
And you can ask for the ice cream on the side if you're one of those people who don't like your ice cream and your cobbler to mix.
Yes, I'm a weirdo. I don't care for them to mix, but they do use homemade, home-style ice cream,
Yes.
which is very, very
creamy,
good.
delicious. I'm sure that each meal has enough calories to last you for a week. That I'm sure of, because the food they don't skimp on the fat and the sugar and the salt. It's a real family style,
Home style,
meal.
definitely.
and you pack it on in there. It will fill you up and make you feel very satisfied.
And then it's one that you have the character option. So if you want to have your kids there, it's a great one for that.
And
too.
the characters are all dressed in period also, which is
yes.
really cool to see Goofy and Minnie all dressed in. And every now and then Chip and Dale.
And Chip and
You don't
Dale
get
show
Chip and
up,
Dale
and
as
Pluto
often.
sometimes
I think
too.
Goofy's the one I've seen the most in there.
Goofy and Minnie
Goofy and
are
Minnie.
the 2 main ones they show. There's a few times when you make a reservation for it, they'll say, well, at this particular time there isn't a scheduled appearance by the characters, but that doesn't mean you won't see them.
If you're having a hard time getting a reservation there and you're not really that big into the characters, going when the characters aren't appearing, you're almost guaranteed a reservation, whereas when they are appearing, it's a lot tougher because everybody wants that character experience.
Exactly.
Well, not everyone, but a lot of people love that character experience. We have gone with teenagers, with young kids, with my older mom. I don't want to say elderly, but I guess at this point you could. Just different groups, and we've never had a bad experience, and we've never had a guest say, don't want to do that again. Everyone who's gone has loved it. In fact, that was the experience that turned around one of our young friends who owned
One
this.
of
He
the
was a grumpy
teenagers that went
Gus.
with us.
You know, teenager. Oh, Disney's dumb. It's just for kids. And then he had that experience. And
He
got
saw
to-
Pluto and he
got-
just turned around.
got to take pictures with Pluto and got a big hug. And all of a sudden, hey, now I get what this Disney thing is about. So that is definitely number one on our
And
list.
it's good lunch or dinner. Either one
Yes.
works well.
And it's usually a little easier, I think, to get a reservation at lunch.
Yeah,
Because
lunch-
most people don't want that big meal for lunch.
But if you're someone who doesn't mind having the big meal in the middle of the day and, just maybe having a sandwich at that night, it's a great way to go.
And if you time it just right, the parade goes directly in front of the Liberty Tree. So if you're sitting there either waiting for your reservation or just having finished your meal, and you get probably the best view of the parade in Magic
Just
Kingdom.
about, because you get the top of the steps of the restaurant.
Yeah.
So,
You know,
a
much
couple extra
valued
feet
space.
height. Yes. And even if you don't mind and you want to just listen to the music, see the colors go by, if you're sitting in one of the front rooms, you can see it through the windows.
If you're sitting in just the right seat, you get a great view of the fireworks. Yeah, but that happens rarely. It's only like 2 seats in the whole place where you can see
Yeah.
the fireworks.
But there's quite a few good seats if you want to watch the parade through the window. And there's one more thing. What we were saying earlier, there was sometimes you can get things at Sci-Fi Dine-In, Liberty Tree Tavern. You can buy their mugs.
Yeah,
They
that's
got
right.
mugs
Liberty
you
Tree
can buy
Tavern
through
has
there
a
with the logo on it and everything.
Really nice little mugs with a little picture on the side of it. We always try to get the glasses or mugs wherever they sell them.
Because we use them every day.
Yeah, and they're just cool. Now, right across the street, so you're still in the same little area, is a great place if you want to do a quick service. Most of the restaurants on our 10 list, all the restaurants on our 10 list are dine-in. But if you're just looking for a quick service meal, you want to go in, grab a quick one, and continue on your day without making a reservation, Columbia Harbor House.
Very good choice.
Go for the clam chowder.
Clam chowder is definitely a good choice. And it's not something you see on most of, in fact, any of the other quick service counters.
Yeah,
almost none of them have.
I think
clam
that's the
chowder.
only place where you get the clam chowder. Now they have like other stuff like fish sandwiches and stuff
Fish
like
and
that.
chips
and
and
they're
stuff.
okay, but they're just like you could get at any fast food, Long John Silver's or anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know.
But the clam chowder is a very good one, and it comes with the crackers.
And it just
everything
fits
else.
the theme of the area and everything, so it's always fun. And,
And
the
there's-
inside is decorated all in a nautical theme of the period. So it's
And with the
pretty
exception of the major lunch crowd, it's usually not too busy in there
Yeah.
either.
cool. Yeah, at the peak of lunch it gets really loud, but the rest of the time it's you can always find a seat even when it's really busy. So moving on, the next one on our list is another one of our huge favorites. This is one that we have to go to every time we go to Animal Kingdom.
Oh, yes.
And that's the delicious
Flame Tree Barbecue. It's a great little barbecue shack they have. We go for it for lunch every single time we go.
Get the pulled pork.
The pulled pork,
Oh,
the chicken if you don't mind getting messy.
turkey. I don't think they have it all the time.
I think that's seasonal. I'm not positive on that.
Yeah, but the pulled pork and the barbecue or chicken are there all the time.
Are very good choices.
They don't put the barbecue sauce on the meat. They cook the barbecue flavor in, and then you can get the little sauce separate.
The one downside I would see with that restaurant is the same downside with all Animal Kingdom restaurants, is because they're worried about the animals, so they limit you on what you get. No plasticware, and what little bit of things you get is usually made out of either paper or it's very much biodegradable. So the straws are made out of paper, which is a little bit odd, and you don't get lids. But other than that, it's
not getting the lids is probably one of the more annoying aspects of it, because you're walking trying to find your seat with your cups and your glasses, and it can kind of make a mess. The paper straws we found, just grab 2 instead of 1, so when one starts to get soggy, you can switch out. It's not really a problem once you realize that's what they're doing.
Yeah, and if it's really a huge deal, you can still buy bottles of soda at the kiosks if you really want.
Or if you do like we usually bring our drink bottles with us, you can always pour your soda into your your portable sports bottle or whatever.
And mentioning on the seats, this is our favorite part about the restaurant.
Yeah.
I mean, the food is excellent every time, but our favorite bit is because I don't know, we're not 100% sure why it's the case, but you can always find plenty of seating.
Yeah, and there are several. It's at several layers. So some of them you have to walk up a step or two. Some of them you have to walk down 6 or 7 steps, and it's kind of spread out. But it's all outdoor seating, but it's covered, and there's foliage
Most
all
of it
around.
is.
So you feel sort of private, even though it's picnic seating essentially. If we like to sit down by the water because it's just a beautiful view of the lake, and if you're lucky at the right time, there's a barge that goes by with Mickey and Minnie and all the characters on it singing, and with the drum music playing in the background. Not always, but that can happen. It's also a great view of Everest.
Yes.
So it just looks like a naturalistic scene of of a mountain in the background, and if you use your video, you can get some pretty good pictures of the actual ride.
And it's just a great place, great food, great
The
atmosphere.
barbecue sauce is a little sweet. A lot of people don't
it is
like
a bit
it. It's a
sweet.
sweet barbecue sauce because that's what they're basing it off. And the meat has a smoky flavor. So some people who don't like the sweet, they just leave the barbecue sauce off. I like the barbecue sauce, a lot of it. I like a lot of barbecue sauce, and they give you nice sized portions. So if you get sandwich and fries there, even though it's a lunch meal, it's enough to be a dinner meal.
And when you get
easily.
a chicken, you don't get like just a thigh or something. You get a half a chicken. When you get the
it's
chicken.
a nice bit. I couldn't finish it. I could not finish it. So it's a good sized piece. Okay, so that's and the lines are never that long at Flame Tree,
Yeah,
and it's
I don't
counter
know
service.
too
So if
much.
you're using the meal thing, you're using a quick service or a counter
Yes,
service.
and so that's always
huge
it's extremely
saving.
good value then.
Yeah, it's a nutritious meal. It tastes delicious, fills you up, and it gets you out of the havoc and the craziness of the rest of the parks to sit over in that nice little quiet area. The birds will bother you and beg you for scraps of food, which you're not supposed to feed them, but you'll notice that they're picking in the trash and they'll drive you crazy begging for French fries. Haven't had one peck at us yet, so
No, but you haven't tried to egg any on this
No,
time.
I have. No, we don't feed them the French fries. They get to them themselves, but they're not supposed to. It's not good for them. So if you go, don't feed the birds or the squirrels French fries. That was a counter service meal though, so that one doesn't count on our top 10. Even though, to be honest, it's probably my number 2 or 3 favorite restaurants in all of the parks. One that does count is Restaurantosaurus.
That is
And-
technically counter service.
Is it technically counter service?
The only time it was not is when it
Well,
was
that's
Breakfastosaurus.
exactly, yes, because we did the character dining. Now, they had moved character dining from there when they were renovating. I don't know if they're planning on moving it back. If they do, that was always one of our favorite experiences to go. It's great. Animal Kingdom opens a little earlier than some of the other parks and closes earlier, so we usually wanted to do breakfast in the park. And Breakfastosaurus was a great opportunity to do that. You go in, you have your breakfast, the characters are there, lots of food, and
Great atmosphere
very
in the
fun
restaurant.
atmosphere. I would describe it as fun. Really, how else would you put that?
It is very fun because it's designed to look like it was a camp set up by a whole bunch of archaeologists.
So it's themed really cool.
Yes.
It was always, like one room is set up like it was the room where they processed the bones, and then there's another one set up like a tent, and maybe the other one was a sleeping area. So each room had its own little thing. There was the garage room. That was a lot of fun. Not just for adults, but for the kids too. You kind of pretend like you're an explorer staying in their little camp.
Exactly.
So I hope they bring Breakfastosaurus back, because honestly, I don't think where they moved the breakfast experience to
to the Tusker House restaurant.
House didn't really. It's okay, but it's just not as fun. So our next favorite is the 50s Primetime Cafe.
I love this one a lot. This is another good one where you get some good home cooking and you get great portions for your money.
And it's it's not served family style. It's served a la carte.
It's served a la carte,
Yeah.
but you're treated as family.
Right. They actually, and this is a kind of fun one because they still do, when so much of the park has changed and gotten away from the personal and the acting and all, they're still doing it there. So that your
It's
waitress
their
will come over and she'll pretend to be mom or aunt or whatever and scold you if you're being naughty and not
Tell you
in a
to eat your
mean-
vegetables and all kinds of fun
occasionally
things.
sit down next to you and take a photo with you and just all kind of.
And there's Uncle
playing.
Louie and a few other characters, so it's fun.
They'll tell you to clean your plate and and then the desserts are kind of family style too. So you have like the s'mores and there's
Yeah.
ice cream. Of course, there's always ice cream at Disney. But just a lot of fun, just as a family style meal. The food is really good and they really fill you up.
Yeah, we had I've had steaks through them. We've had meatloaf. We had fried chicken that one time.
And it's really the environment is that it's set up there are like several little kitchens essentially set up. You're essentially eating in the old 50s style kitchen with the the boomerang pattern is everywhere, and you have old-fashioned TV set up
And
playing
cookie jars and stuff.
playing Father's Knows Best and I Love Lucy and
Yeah.
the
Leave It
Andy
to
Griffith
Beaver.
show, Leave It to Beaver, all those great old shows that used to be on. Of course, nobody's really watching those, but they're on. So, and then
I'll watch
the
them.
area when you're waiting for your turn to go.
is really kind of neat because it's kind of like a living room environment. When I went, they actually had two TVs stacked on
Yeah.
top of each other, just like you'd have at home. The big floor model that didn't quite work, and then the little new one that did work, and that's kind of cool. Anyone who actually is interested in this is they actually have like a bar or a lounge that's
Yes.
part of it as well.
They do, and I don't. I've not actually gone to it, but you could see it clearly from where you're waiting.
It's basically open with the waiting area.
Yeah.
So that you could go and sit at it if you want while you're waiting. Or you could just go just to that if you don't want to go to the restaurant. It's open too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you could. I just love sitting in the little themed area though and looking around at all the little. They have little tchotchkes that would be
yes.
found in the 50s and early 60s. So the long necked black cat ceramic and the Felix the Cat clock on the wall
of
and
course.
just all kinds of neat little. You just look at the style of furniture and all. And they did a really excellent job of recreating the look of an average middle class home in the 50s
yes.
or 60s.
It's gorgeous.
It's just a lot of fun to go to. So if you can't tell, we like restaurants that both have good food at a good price and
Good theming.
theming, and that one definitely is up there on the top 1 or 2 for theming. Okay, so let's talk about a restaurant that's very different from that. Then would be the Wolfgang Puck Grand Cafe.
Yes, and this is more of a chain restaurant. So it's a little bit more of a something that you'd probably be more likely to find without going to Disney. But,
Downtown Disney, so what do you expect?
Yeah. But it was a great, and it's one of the finds that we have, that one of the restaurants we have on our list, that was one that we just went to on a whim. We walked up,
Yes.
we were going to go to the counter service,
Completely.
and we were going to get something. We decided, hey, why don't we ask and see if we can get a table? And sure enough, we were able to sit down, and we had one of the most enjoyable meals of the entire trip.
And they do take, and a lot of the restaurants in downtown Disney do not take the Disney dining plan. At least when we were there, they did, which is why we had gone in to ask just if we could get the counter service reservation. We had some meals left on our dining plan and running short on money, and let's just go see. At most places, you have to make reservations well in advance, and we were really surprised that you didn't. And the food was excellent. What
Very
do you
good.
expect from Wolfgang Puck? But it was
very
excellent.
good. And it also gave us one of the best chuckles of our trip.
That was a rather fun experience. Here's a little clue: if you get up to use the restroom and your entire party gets up to go, leave something very obvious at the table to let them know that you'll be coming back, or let your waiter know, because the table next to us did that. I don't know why they all needed to go to the restroom at the same time. There were 3 or 4 of them.
It was 4.
4. They all, I guess they had kids or something. They had to help them, but they all got up together to go, and the waiter came and cleared off their plates. They came back. They're like, where's our food?
Because they had just started touching it, and it was time for them to leave. It was time for them to go to the bathroom, and
So, but I mean, they were nice. The restaurant staff were nice and brought them something else, and but it was rather funny. So don't do that if you've got to get up and go somewhere. Either let your waiter know, or make sure you leave things on the table and stuff so they know that you're coming back. One thing I didn't like so much though is they have flavored teas there.
oh yes, I forgot all about the flavored tea.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't not a good flavor for me. And I mean, I hate having lemon in my tea. So you know what kind of person I am. Was it raspberry? Was it a raspberry flavor?
Probably.
I think it was a raspberry tea, which sounded like it would be pretty good, but it really wasn't. And unfortunately, they didn't have an option of just a plain dinner tea that you would normally have, iced tea. So that was the only drawback of the whole meal, I think.
Yeah.
Very good service, quiet, and good food. So
Yeah.
at a decent price.
Yes.
Well, we were on the meal plan, so for us it was definitely a decent price. But the prices that we saw on the menu were very
Yes, 'cause we
reasonable.
took a glance. We always do.
Yeah. Should have taken pictures, but we didn't.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah. So the next one is not actually a Disney restaurant, however, it is associated with them. And it's the one at Animal Kingdom just outside the gate. You can enter it from inside, I think.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
There's a neat little
Yeah.
courtyard.
So you
go
can enter
through.
it from either the inside the park, or if you come after the park's closed, you can enter from outside. And so obviously we're talking about the Rainforest Cafe.
Yes, there is one in downtown Disney, but we didn't actually go to that one.
Yeah, we've never been to the... Yeah. No, we did actually, didn't we? Later with
I don't remember.
someone else. Anyway, we usually go to the one at Animal Kingdom if we're going to go. The drawback is it is very expensive, as you all know, and it is quite loud. However, the theming is awesome. The food is delicious. Very large portions. And it is right there at Animal Kingdom. One of the good things about it is it's open after the park closes.
Very much so. So it works out
So,
great. So if you
yes.
really want to spend the day at Animal Kingdom and then you want to have dinner before you leave, then that's a great way to do
Yeah.
it, to use that as dinner.
It's terrific. You just exit right to the restaurant and then just stay and then go home from there. And the buses do continue to run a little while after the park
About
closes.
2 hours.
They don't run all the way till the restaurant closes. Then you have, if you stay that late, you either have to have a car or get a cab, or unless you can walk to your park from there. I don't know any parks that are close enough to walk to.
I don't even think the
Not to
lodge is
Animal
close
Kingdom.
enough.
No. Does the camp maybe have transportation?
They
'Cause
might.
the camp
but
is pretty close to them.
yeah, I'm not positive on that one.
But if you're at most of the hotels, you need to make sure, if you're going to get a late reservation there, that you have transportation late on, because the buses do stop before the restaurant closes. And we did have to take a cab from there once, which isn't horrible. The cabs aren't that expensive, but why pop for a cab when you're at Disney?
Yeah, spending enough.
Yeah, so you're already spending quite enough. Okay, so what's the next one after that? The Portobello Count. I'm going to kill this name, and I apologize.
It's one of my favorites.
The Portobello Country Italian Trattoria. I'm not Italian, obviously. This one's in downtown Disney
As
also.
well. Yes. It's right there, right next to Fulton's Crab House, catty corner from it. Again, like I said earlier, it was another one. We just walked up one day. We were like, hey, let's just wander around downtown Disney. We're like, oh, you hungry? Sure, okay. Go inside. You got a reservation? Or you got a open table? Sure, we'll get you in about 5 minutes.
And what was so very lucky about that little incident was because by the time we were seated and we were receiving our food, the restaurant was filling up, and the next few people who came in were turned away because they were full and they had no reservations left.
Yeah, we got it right at the beginning of the dinner rush.
We came at just the right time, obviously. It's a great little Italian restaurant. It serves, it's not little actually, it's quite big,
No,
but
it's good size.
it serves the country style Italian food.
Yes,
so
my favorite.
fills you up, tastes good, not fancy. The food was delicious. It was very well prepared. Service was relatively quick when we were there. They have a very large wine list. Unfortunately, neither of us drinks wine, so I have no clue if the wine they offered was actually any good or not. Can't help you out with that one. But it has a reputation as a place that has excellent wine. So I don't know.
And their selection on the menu, as far as the actual food went, was actually very good.
Yeah, it was a
It
good
actually
selection.
included hot dogs and corn on the cob for kids, so that was interesting because I remember the kids behind us had them.
Yeah, we're like, corn on the, okay, well, whatever.
I mean, they have it for them, so it's wonderful.
Yeah, if you want it, yeah, there you go. So I liked it. It's a nice little place. It was quieter. Again, a lot of the places that are actually the sit down ordinary restaurants without theming tend to be a little bit quieter. So that's a little tip. If you're looking for something that's a little quieter, don't go to the themed restaurants. They tend to be loud and busy.
And ruckus.
This one was not. And we got treated to a nice little outdoor concert.
Yes, that was happening just while we were waiting for being able to go inside.
Yeah.
So.
They had a couple of artists there doing some techno classic kind of music.
Yeah,
it was very
like
interesting.
Some cellos or something
Yeah.
or other.
They were visiting from another country, so that was kind of neat. So the next one we have is one that's actually at one of the hotels. See, all the restaurants are not at the parks. Most of the restaurants that are at hotels, you can also make reservations at, even if you're not staying at that hotel. So, and that's something that a lot of people miss. So be aware. The one that we went to was called Shutters at Caribbean Beach.
Yep, at the Caribbean Beach. That was almost all of the mid and higher resorts at Disney World have not only the counter service food court, but they also have at least one table service restaurant. And so that's what we're talking about here. Is this one is Shutters, the table service restaurant at the Caribbean Beach.
Did you have the fish?
I usually have the fish. Yes, I usually have some sort of seafood product.
Yeah.
Because you will usually have the normal red meat product.
Usually, I think I had fish that time, just because it was the specialty and.
Yeah, I think that's why we ordered it. Is because they said it was the specialty, and we just said two of them or something.
Was it catfish?
Possibly. I'm not sure. It was something Caribbean. We know that.
But yeah, it was quite. I remember that it was good, but I don't remember what I ate. We don't eat there often, but it surprised us. So, be open to surprises. Go ahead and try Shutters. So then the next one that we have is another cheat. Here's another quick service meal. If you were in, let's see if I can get it without calling it by the wrong name. Disney Hollywood Studios.
Hey, that sounds about right.
Not Universal. If you're in Disney Hollywood Studios, and especially if you're looking to go to the Fantasmic, you might want to go get your seating early. One of the things that we've taken to doing the last few times, and it's worked out great, go to the Sunset Ranch Market. It's a little collection of different small kiosk stalls, whatever you want to call them, where you can get things like pulled pork, hot dog, pizza, and there's also a little fruit stand there.
Stand nearby.
You can go to all the different little stands, get exactly what you want, and take your food and go sit and wait for the show to start. So you're sort of killing two birds with one stone. You're getting yourself something to eat, and you're finding your seat for the show. It's also a great place to go if, like me, you're a chicken and you don't want to go on Rock and Roller Coaster, or you're waiting for your party to come back from Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Those two sit at the end of the Y at the crossroads. So the restaurant is sitting right at the branch of that Y. So it's a terrific place to sit and wait for your party to meet back up.
And like we said, there's lots of choices there because there's like 6 different stalls, each selling something slightly different.
Toluca legs is there. So you get the turkey legs.
Turkey legs is nearby. There's an ice cream stand, pizza place, burger place, chicken place.
Yeah, so pretty much anything you want, fast food wise, is there. It's all portable type food. And of course, one of the things I love about it, we were talking about this earlier, is the fruit stand.
Yes.
Because a lot of times, especially when I go to the park, the heat and all starts getting to your stomach. You don't feel so good. Maybe your blood sugar gets low. My mom is diabetic, and so when we go with her, she needs to make sure that she has good food that can get the sugar quickly. So that's the only place I know of in any of the parks. Well, no, there's one in Epcot where you can get fruit, but most of the places you can't just go and buy a piece of fruit. So it's a great little, and it's all fresh fruit from right there in Florida for the most part. Mm-hmm. So you get bananas and apples and grapes and watermelon and all kinds of good stuff. It's all outdoor seating, of course, because it's a
All right,
it's a ranch market.
the Yak and Yeti
That's the
restaurant.
idea.
Oh,
Okay,
yes,
so then
that
let's
was-
talk about
That was one I actually liked. Not her favorite cuisine, so she had a hard time ranking this on the list.
I'm not a big fan of Asian food altogether. It is good food if you like that sort of Asian cuisine. I'm not sure what exactly part of Asia that it's supposed to be from, even.
Didn't read the menu.
Yeah. I did actually read the menu. I just don't remember exactly. Considering it's called a Yak and Yeti, you would think it would be somewhere from maybe India-ish. I just really don't know. Somewhere in that part of the country.
I'm sure most of you listening to this probably already know.
Yeah, you probably have read it and said, what are these guys, idiots? They don't know where it's supposed to be? But
Yes, we are.
We had not actually intended necessarily to go there. We were just looking for some place in Animal Kingdom, and
That wasn't
it was-
Rainforest Cafe.
and that was a new restaurant at the time.
Yeah,
So
it-
it was undersold.
Yeah.
So we were able to get a reservation pretty easily, and what I liked about it, the theming is beautiful. It's very well decorated inside.
And at the time when we had went, they were actually staying open a little bit after park closing too.
Yeah, that's right. They may still be. I'm not sure.
I'm not positive on that one. I don't think
I think
so.
just on the extended Magic Nights or whatever. But it is very, very lovely inside. It's not as busy and loud as some of the other restaurants. So the Yak and Yeti is it carries on the theming from the other two rides, from Everest and Cali River Rapids. So it fits in very well with that part of the park that it's in. Again, I'm not hugely fond of that sort of cuisine. They served dumplings. That was one of the things that we got. Something similar to an egg roll.
Yep.
I can't even recall everything that we got now. It's been a long time since we've gone. I don't know if it's changed since then. I've heard reports that it's changed, but I recommend it for a couple of reasons. One, that it's indoors, away from the craziness. So unlike Tusker House or Pizza Fari, it's not full of screaming children running randomly around, bumping into things. Yeah, it's air conditioned, and in Animal Kingdom, that's hugely important. Another one in a hotel, or in one of the resorts. I shouldn't say hotel. It's Disney. They're not hotels. They're resorts.
They are resorts.
The Whispering Canyon Cafe. It's in the Wilderness.
This is one that we had heard about a little bit, but we hadn't really learned much about it because we'd never been to the Wilderness Lodge.
There had never really seemed to be a reason to go there.
No, never really been anything that drew us over that way. But we went on a backstage tour, and the lunch that you get with the tour we took was at Whispering Canyon Cafe, and so we went as part of the tour group. And it was amazing. And we were so impressed by going as part of that tour group that we ended up, the next time we went, we made a reservation to go directly to that specific restaurant.
This is the restaurant, you've probably heard of it now, where they do the ketchup thing. If you don't know what the ketchup thing is, if you don't know what the ketchup thing is, you're not one of the insiders. It's really kind of funny.
Cute little bit.
What happens is they don't bring you ketchup to your table if you order French fries or what have you. So of course, at some point, someone in your table, and it's most of the meals are served family style. At least the one we ordered. We ordered the.
You
the
can
family
do it
style
one
meal.
or the other.
Yeah, you could order a la carte or family style, but we ordered family style. And so anyway, someone at the table is going to eventually ask, well, do you have ketchup for the fries?
So they ask for ketchup.
So when you ask for ketchup, the people who wait on you are going to shout loudly through the whole restaurant for the ketchup. Everyone at every table then gets up with every ketchup bottle they can round up and brings it to your table.
So then you end up with 30 or 40 ketchup bottles.
You end up with dozens of ketchup bottles on your table. And then, of course, you can't wait for them to yell ketchup again so that you
can pass all your 30 or 40 bottles on to the
unload
next
your
group.
extra ketchups. So it's kind of a little fun thing they do. They also do the if you drop your fork or spoon and ask for another,
they will give you the world's largest fork and spoon.
Yes, they will bring out giant fork or spoon to give you, and that's a lot of. So they just do a lot of silly fun things. They have sing-alongs and hoedowns while you're there. So and the hotel there is very lovely, themed like old. Western
Lodge.
Well, actually, not even so much west. I guess you'd say Midwestern, like the Rocky Mountain type theme. So, and it has like a totem pole in the lobby and so forth. And the restaurant seating has a full view of the lobby of the hotel. So, it's very nice. You wouldn't think they would want to be that loud considering it's in the lobby, but it doesn't seem to matter when you're in the lobby. So
no, because we were sitting in the lobby waiting for the restaurant. We never heard much of anything.
It's not annoying. So again, that's kind of the lesson there that don't just stick with the restaurants that are in the parks and even in downtown. Go ahead and check out some of those restaurants that are in the hotels. They're very nice restaurants. And so then that leaves us to the last one, which is another one of our cheats, a quick restaurant. If you're going to Epcot, and as we said, it's really hard to get reservations in Epcot. Really hard. We have been trying to get a reservation for Les Celliers for what, 8 years? At least. It just never seems to work out that they're available when we're going to be there. So, that said, there are a couple of quick service places in Epcot that are almost as fun or almost as good, maybe better. And the one that we have, Norway. That's right. I don't know why. Denmark, is it Holland? No, it's none of those. It's Norway, in the Norway Pavilion. Is the Kringla Bakery Ugg Cafe. I'm sorry, I have the worst accent and I can't pronounce foreign languages. But it's just a really cute little, they call it a bakery. Don't be thrown by that. Yes, there are baked goods there, lots of them, delicious stuff. They are world renowned for their waffles, specifically their stuffed waffles. You can get waffles and jam. Strawberry jam is awesome. You can get waffles and meat, waffles and fish, waffles and scrambled eggs. So you can pretty much get any waffle you want. And talk about that?
Well, I said before was that the waffles are very good for dividing up between 2 or even 3 people because of the way they're made and how big they are.
Yeah, they're in the little hearts. There's like 4 hearts in a little square-ish shape or flower shape, so you can easily just break them off. Each person get a little heart, and they're fairly decent size, so that makes a nice little breakfast. Get one of those for 2 people. Even though it's a bakery, you don't have to be fooled by that. It's not just for breakfast. If you want a light lunch or dinner, they have some really great sandwiches, which they're different than anything else served throughout the park, because they're sort of traditional. So I highly recommend trying those. The seating area is really special because it's outdoor seating, but it's under a little a patio area. You have the traditional grass-roofed structure there. Trellis on the sides, so you're sort of private, but you can still see the view of the lake and anything that's going on out there in the walking area. It's a terrific place to sit and watch the show, the final show of the day, which is
Illuminations. Reflections of Earth.
So it's not a perfect view of Illuminations, but it's pretty darn good, and it's very comfortable and almost never full. You can almost always find a place to sit over there, and it's right next to the little Viking ship and all that. So it's just a really cute little place. They even have like recorded bird song and owl hooting. So it's supposed to feel like you're supposed to feel like you're back in their country, sitting in an outdoor restaurant or cafe. So that's our 10 favorite restaurants plus 4 quick service places because we cheated and we couldn't just pick 10. And
there's even a few that we both could do and do without at the same time.
I mean, there's great many. This is nowhere near all the restaurants, and it's very hard to find any restaurants in Disney World that I would just say don't go to. I mean, there are some that I wouldn't go to for various reasons, and there are some that are just sort of just so-so, or well, they're just like every other restaurant in Disney. That's why they're not included here. It's not that they're bad; it's just that they didn't make the top 10 because they didn't have anything really special about them. And all of these we feel have one or two things that they really stand out in.